Cattery family, this is Lynn, your certified feline master groomer, and this is going to be one of a few videos I'll be doing about how to maintain your cat's coat while you're stuck at home during this quarantine. So this video is going to be about what tools are appropriate for cat coats and then a few tools that are not appropriate for cat coats. So the first ones I want to talk about are short-haired cats. And a lot of people may say, but Lynn, short-haired cats don't really need that much grooming maintenance. Ho-ho, you, my friend, have either never lived with a short-haired cat or you have resigned yourself to live covered in cat hair. So there are two tools that I recommend for most short-haired cats. The first one is this magic little tool. This is a particular brand called a Zoom Groom, and this is actually their dog model. They make a cat one, but I happen to like how the dog one fits in my hand a lot better. It has these big, thick rubber fingers, and if you start from the back of the neck and go straight down, oh my gosh, you will get so much dead hair that comes out. It's insanity. And bonus, cats love it because it feels like a massage. So if you have a cat who is particularly reactive or doesn't seem to be liking a lot of the other tools that you've tried, this is a great introductory tool for really any cat because it feels just really good all over. It is not as effective on long-haired cats, but short-haired cats, this is what you want. This little Zoom Groom brush, gosh, I keep wanting to say Zoom Groom. This little Zoom Groom brush is fantastic and it is just what you're gonna need. You can get it at most pet stores and online. I'll provide links in the description of this video. This next comb, you can see nice up close, it has these staggered teeth. I love this kind of comb for really densely coated short-haired cats. So I personally own an exotic short-hair who will be my demonstration a little bit later, but this comb is my magic weapon to get a lot of dead hair out. It is not so fine that it's going to pull or rip out coat, which can be uncomfortable when you have when the teeth of the comb are too close together. Like a flea comb is not an all over body comb, but this is a great tool where it's going to be much more efficient than a larger tool or a larger comb or a tool that has teeth more spaced apart. So this is a brand called CHRISTENSEN. They're the only ones that I can really find that make this type of comb. If you've stopped by my salon and we've discussed coat maintenance, I do have a less expensive version of it. It's got a wooden handle and it's the brand Safari. I will include both links below, but this is the one that I use in my salon. It's just a little pricey unless you're really serious about, or you've got multiple cats. This runs about $50 to $60 as a comb, but for me as a professional, this is exactly what I need. So that's pretty much it when it comes to short-haired cats. I don't really use a lot of other tools other than regular bath and blow dries because the bath is going to loosen up a lot of dead hair, the blow dry helps to push it out, and then it's just that fine finish combing that really is that finish work as opposed to starting with a dirty coat where the cat is uncomfortable, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, if you come to my salon, you know that I bathe all my cats. So you already know the benefits of bathing. So let's move on to tools for long-haired cats. So the biggest tool that I would recommend is what's called a Greyhound style comb. So I happen to have one that is the same width of teeth all the way along. A lot of times you can find combs that have a finer side and then what they call a coarser side, which means the teeth are spread out further apart. I only use the fine side for all my cats, so this is the comb I use. This is also by CHRISTENSEN. I am a huge fan of their tools and products. I've been using them for pretty much my entire grooming career, 15 plus years, and they hold up like no other. And what's nice about a more expensive comb versus a less expensive comb is that a lot of time the teeth already come ground down, so they're not sharp and they don't catch or stab. Some cheap combs, you can really feel the difference. They feel almost sharp. And on delicate kitty skin, we don't want anything sharp. So this is a great tool. This is what I use all over the body for long-haired cats. This is my favorite one, even down big fluffy tails. So if you have a long-haired cat, especially a Persian or Himalayan, you know that their legs and feet get especially fuzzy, as well as around their face. So this type of comb would be good to go over the first time and especially over the body, but when going down the legs, feet, and around the face, you need something a little more closer together. So this is a face and feet comb. This one's also by CHRISTENSEN, but they make, there's other brands that make this size. So this is a much smaller comb in comparison. And so what I do is I use this fine side, and this is like my second go along when I'm combing out my long-haired cats, and a lot of them don't really love it, but if I let them have these little tufts all over their legs, it's just gonna get matted. So I'd rather have a little tiny bit of discomfort just so I can get rid of little tufts instead of waiting until they're matted and now it's a big mess and now it's a big ordeal and now it's a big grooming bill. So you don't want that. So this little tiny comb is fantastic. Like I said, the Christensen combs do run a little more expensive, but you can usually find this style of comb for under $10, under $12. So the last comb that I usually use on my long-haired cats is this style comb. It's very similar in terms of the teeth spacing of my regular size comb, but I love to have a comb that has a handle on it. So when I go over how to remove small mats from your long-haired cat's coat, this is the style of comb that I'm going to be using. I like to be able to have more of a grip because you're going to see taking off mats from a long-haired cat is similar to pulling off a Band-Aid. If you sit and you pick at it and you pick at it and you pick at it, it's going to cause more discomfort over the long term. Whereas with small mats, it's kind of get them off as quickly and with as little discomfort as possible. And this style comb with the handle is my favorite for that. So a couple tools that I want to talk about that are really not the best fit for what you're going to be doing at home. I don't have one, but a very popular comb that I get asked about is the Furminator. And I'll put a link below so you can see what it looks like. It's a very expensive brush, and to be honest, it's really not appropriate for most cats, at least from an owner's perspective. I have used it in my dog grooming career. Here and there, I started using it a lot when I was a beginner because I was like, oh wow, so much hair comes out. But then as I got further and further along and I started to see the repercussions of what would happen at each consecutive grooming appointment for the pets that I was using it on, I was noticing the hair was coming back really damaged. It was continuing to pull out hair even when the pet was on a good grooming schedule. And so I started looking into the Furminator more, and the Furminator is really a harsh brush. Yes, it will remove a huge amount of hair. However, it will pull out hair that's not ready to come out on its own. Brushes like this one, or even my combs, it's only hair that is ready to come out, and that should be coming out. The Furminator is going to pull off way more hair than it really needs to, which can cause discomfort for your pets and also cause damage to both skin and coat. I have really seen a lot of groomers who, personally, I've watched them damage skin because they were using the Furminator too much, and they were told it was a great brush. But unless you're using with a feather light touch, it can really cause a lot of skin damage from brush burn. And so I don't really recommend the Furminator. Like I said, I had one earlier in my career, but I don't have one anymore, so I don't have one to show you. I do not recommend the Furminator on cats at all at home. You will get a ton of hair, but trust me, the combs are much better. They're much more foolproof. You're not going to be damaging things quite nearly as easily as you could with those brushes. So let's move on to other brushes. So I do have some other brushes I want to cover with you. This style is called a slicker brush or a wire brush. And you can see that they've got these metal kind of wire tines. And they're usually at an angle. Now this is a brush that I use a lot when I was a dog groomer, and it is appropriate for dogs. However, I just find that most slicker brushes are way too harsh on delicate cat skin. Cats have a very sensitive skin, and I just find that in order to get out and in order to use the brush in the way that you need to be effective, it's just too harsh on cat skin. So I really don't recommend the wire brushes nearly as much. The other types of brushes, this is called a pin brush, and this looks like your normal hairbrush. This is really not going to do anything. Is it going to cause damage? No. The tines are all ground down. It feels nice. You can use it as a way to introduce another tool. So if your cat really isn't interested in any of the combs, or you've never used a grooming tool on your pet before, then the pin brush can be a nice introduction, but to be honest, it's really not going to do anything. It's not going to pull out dead hair, which is probably why you're doing grooming at home. It's not going to remove tangles at all. You can see the tines are way too spaced far apart. They move. Think of our own hair brushes. These brushes are just kind of you know, once you've washed and dried it and you've gotten the tangles out, you're just kind of going through it, you know, which is kind of like what it would do. So is it bad to use one of these? No, it's just not very effective. So little pin brushes. I might use these if I was showing one of my Persians in full coat, just to help kind of fluff up the big ruff, but it's not going to do anything really for you at home, unfortunately. The last brush is this style brush. It's usually referred to as a boar bristle brush or a natural bristle brush. And this is actually not a bad brush for very, very short-haired cats that really don't need a lot of grooming. What this brush is designed to do is it's helping to bring the natural oils of the coat and spreading them evenly around the coat, so you don't have any kind of patches of unevenly spaced oils. So what this does is to help evenly space everything all over, which will enhance the shine of the coat. But it's not really going to do anything. It's not really going to remove a ton of dead hair. It's not going to do anything for long-haired cats pretty much at all. So again, this can be used in a similar way as the pin brush if you're introducing grooming for the first time, but I wouldn't use one of these brushes to really do anything in terms of grooming. So it's nice, it's soft. Like I said, for short hair cats, so if I was showing, say, a Bengal, this might be a brush that I would introduce because they don't really have hair to comb. So that's where I would use this, just to make sure everything is laying flat, that I'm helping to improve the shine of their coat. But for my salon kitties, I see a lot of really densely coated cats, and this is just not really what I would use for it. So not that these are bad tools, it's just inappropriate for what we need. So I'm gonna wrap up this video. It's a little bit longer than I was anticipating, but keep an eye out on my page and I'll be bringing in and doing some demonstrations of both long and short haired cats and how to remove a small mat on your long haired cat. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you in a little bit.